around about 1969, I went to see 2001, A Space Odyssey, and I was just blown away by the vision of Clarke and Kubrick. But it was HAL 9000 that really grabbed my attention. And if you've seen the movie, you can't forget that line. Open the pod bay doors, Hal. Sorry, Dave, I can't do that. Oh, all right, so I got kind of interested in the whole subject. And it led to me starting to ask questions, like, when would he be here? And the futurists and the AI community were predicting that HAL 9000 would be here in 25 or 30 years. So, okay, we came to the year 2000, he wasn't here. The year 2010, he wasn't here. Where is he? Well, this in turn led me to ask three important questions. Would he be here in 2025? Would I be here in 2025? And will my computer be proud of me before I die? Okay, it's kind of a cool question to ask. We just had a little tech hitch here. Let me just get down here. Well, there's no doubt about it, the machines are getting smarter. This was a seminal moment in AI. Throughout my life, there've been all kind of argument about would machines play chess. All of a sudden, it's a non sequitur. Now, we don't talk about people playing chess. We look at the competition between machines. And just last year, we saw Watson blow away all the contestants in Jeopardy. Now, this is quite remarkable, but you could ask the question, aren't these just machines running algorithms? Are they thinking? Are they intelligent? And the answer is, we don't know. And the reason is, we have no way of describing, quantifying, or measuring intelligence. We have nothing. There are well over 150 definitions that have been published of intelligence. And the snag is, they're pretty well meaningless. The capacity for cognitive thought, or the capacity for analyzing and solving problems doesn't help. It doesn't give us a clue. And I was looking at things like the IQ test, but even in 1908, Alfred Binet explained that his test was flawed. It wasn't a good idea, but it's still used as the gold standard today. And if you go in the literature and you look at the AI community and you look at the futurists, you get graphs like this. And it would say that the internet is probably somewhere between 100 times and 1,000 times smarter than we are right now. And a PC is something like a mouse. I can tell you my laptop is not very smart. It's not intelligent. It's not as clever as a mouse. And I started to look at what other people were saying, and I found the priesthood of the singularity. 2035 is the big deal. That's the point where the machines take over. And so I have a proposition for you, and the proposition is, these people are wrong. And I don't mean they're wrong in a small way. I mean they're wrong in a big way. And what I want to do is I want to explain to you why I think why. And I got a call from a defense company. It came out of the blue, and it was a real joy. And the reason was they had got a series of AI machines that they wanted to compare. The snag was they had got thousands of mobile and fixed terminals, hundreds of outputs, and exhaustive testing was way out of the question. Was there a way of comparing them that would be really quite accurate, very fast, and of course, low cost. And being an engineer, engineers can walk on water. We take on problems the rest of the human race is impossible. I said, sure, I reckon we can come up with something, not knowing whether we could or not. So I took on the problem. And one of the most common ways of comparing machines is to say, it's got this amount of memory, it's got this kind of processing power, and then if you want to get really cool, you multiply the two together to get a factor. And this is so crude, so poor, and so very wrong. So I started to look at the evidence. And the first thing I looked at was life forms that have no processing power and no memory. So slime mold, for example, and jellyfish are a collection of cells. The cells have got sensors and actuators. They've got no central processor. They've got no brain. So first of all, you can say that intelligent things don't need a computer. They don't need a memory bank. They really don't. The second thing I looked at was some experiments that were done last year with comatose human beings. These are people who have been out of it for 10 years. To all intents and purposes, they're vegetative. If you take them and slide them into an MRI machine and whisper in their ear, I want you to think about playing tennis, then their brain lights up like yours and mine in 60% of these cases. So you've got these poor souls who are entombed, not in a grave, but in meat space. They're taking in information, but they can't give anything out. So this led me to another couple of conditions. And the conditions are, you cannot have any intelligence without a sensor. You can't have any intelligence without an output mechanism. So I'm not going to go as far as to say that this pen is really intelligent. The snag is it can't tell you, but I'm sure you get the idea. An axiom. Intelligence is entropic. Looking at the audience, I guessed that some of you may have done thermodynamics in your life. A lot of you won't. So here's a 30-second tutorial on entropy. Entropy is the celestial ratchet. It will kill us all. It will kill all life forms. It will kill the planet, the universe. And the theory goes like this. There is a game. Everybody and everything is in the game. There is only one game. We can't opt out. Nothing can opt out of the game. You cannot win this game, but you can break even. But you can only break even on a cold day. The snag is, it never gets that cold. That's it. So no matter what you have, entropy increases, eventually it dies. It's the reason that all of the perpetual motion machines that have been brought to my office didn't work when they arrived. Okay. So the question is there a formula that would describe intelligence as a comparative measure between machines? I think there is. Here's mine. Don't panic. This is comparatively schoolboy kind of formula. It's got a logarithmic in there. And there are sensors, S, eyes, actuators, fingers, processing power, and memory. That formula satisfies all the conditions I've identified. If the processing power goes to 0, you've got intelligence. If the memory goes to 0, you've got intelligence. But if either the sensor or the actuator go to 0, no intelligence. So, here are the forecasts that are published, but this is where I think we are. Our best PCs, our best computing power, are about like a spider. There is a kicker in the tail to this story. We need a lot more sensors and a lot more actuators, and I'm going to propose to you that here they are. Billions of them are being distributed. Last year, the rollout of things like iPads really started. 18 months ago, there were none. There are now 40 million out there. 6 billion people with mobile phones, 3 billion are smartphones. There are lots of sensors inside our phones. More are going to be put on. We've already heard about the robots becoming more sensory. That is where the future is for intelligence. So I have one final thought for you, and that is, are we going to be smart enough to recognize new intelligences and new life forms when they spontaneously erupt on the internet? Thank you.